everybody. Welcome back to the voice of Putnam County Business. I am here alongside my esteemed colleague, Nat Prentice. Nat, how are you? It's been a minute.
Easily a minute. Nick, I'm just fine, thanks.
That's
Happy to see you.
Yeah.
I miss you. It's too good an association to let go for a week or so.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So today we're excited to introduce somebody that
real businessman.
Yeah.
The real the kind of thing that the whole country is hoping will succeed. Well, thanks to you. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get you to tell all of us how we met our guest, but his name is Garrett Noach, and he's the president of a company in Brewster called Lamothermic Investment Casting Corporation. And Garrett is the president of that company. So, Nick, how did you come to know Garrett?
So first of all, Garrett, welcome. Happy to have you here.
Thanks.
Been trying to get you out here for a while now, but the best part about having you here is that the way we met was on the Putnam County Business Council's Putnam Connects networking group, which we would not have met you otherwise.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's fantastic. It just shows the power of networking and what Putnam Connects can do. So pumped to have you here, pumped to have met you there, pumped to have you on those networking calls.
Pumped to be here.
So it's fantastic. So give us a little bit of background on Lamothermic and what you guys do.
Sure. So Lamothermic is a investment casting foundry in Brewster. We were founded in 1976 by my father. We started off in Cold Springs and then moved over to Pawling, and here we are in Brewster. 50,000 square foot facility. We manufacture complex metal parts. So the term investment casting is foreign to most. Typically, when people ask, what do you do for a living? It gets a little complicated. I say I make all the stuff that you don't really think about. I think I once heard a statistic that you can't go 6 feet without running into some form of casting. So we are a foundry. We pour molten metal into molds to form complex shapes for all sorts of industries. The basic, I'll give you the 30-second rundown, is we start off with a part that a customer wants to make, and we're not talking the type of stuff that's really on the shelf at Home Depot's, more complex, custom specific type of work. Somebody submits a part that they want to make, they want to make your water bottle here, something like that. They give us a blueprint or a solid model. We have a mold made out of aluminum, and we inject wax into that mold, take the mold apart, and we make a wax pattern. So we make one wax pattern for every metal part that we make. We attach those wax patterns onto a longer block of wax, and we call that wax welding. We make a tree. The finished assembly is called a tree. Take the tree and we dunk it in ceramic slurry and sprinkle it with sand to form a ceramic layer. We do that anywhere between 7 and 12 times, depending on part complexity and geometry. So now you have wax surrounded by a ceramic shell. You melt the wax out in an autoclave, and now you have a ceramic negative, what you had in wax. We preheat the molds in an oven to about 2,000 degrees, melt metal, electrical induction furnace to about 3,000 degrees, dump the metal in. The mold to one-time use, it gets vibrated off, the shell gets broken, and you're left with what you had in wax. Now the metal, cut the parts off the runner, plastic cut them, whatever, and you're left with parts that are ready to be finished. You finish them up, you go through all sorts of secondary processing, tumbling, blasting, grinding, straightening, you name it.
It's pretty wild.
Wow, that was investment casting. Is that what you meant?
Investment casting 101. Yeah.
Wow, I learned way more than I ever knew. But tell me, is that process capital intensive, labor intensive, both?
Both. Primary labor intensive. There's a lot of labor that goes into it. We try and pride ourselves on the fact that we have a lot of automation built into our process, but yeah, it's a very labor intensive process. It's also known as the lost wax process. This process dates back to years and years and years ago. Chinese beeswax, I think. So yeah, very ancient process. It's the same process that's your jewelry is made.
I mean, honestly, it's very, very cool that we have a company like yours in Putnam County, because I would venture to guess that not a lot of people know that Lamothermic is in Putnam County, and what you do in Putnam County is probably not widespread.
If I've heard I passed that building like 100 times and I never knew what you guys actually said. Yeah, the yours, man.
Right? No, I figured as much. But you're a humble guy, and you consider yourself a small business, but you're not really that small a business for Putnam County. I mean, you have a fun warehouse, and you employ quite a few people. I mean, how many people do you have on staff right now?
Right now we've got about 60 and growing. Yeah. So we employ about 60 people. We've been as high as 125 or so. When I took over the business, we were at 75, down to 60 now, but we're growing back up. A lot of it is due to automation that we brought in.
Sure.
But we employ those people across 2.5 shifts, as much as 3 shifts, almost 24 shifts. We shut down at the end of the summer and week between Christmas and New Year's for large projects.
Mm-hmm.
So the building, that's not an issue. I mean, the building can take 120 people working. I mean,
Oh yeah.
So you're not looking at, or are you, an expansion of your footprint, or can you do the work you anticipate doing with the facility you have?
I have a lot of growing to do within the 4 walls that I'm in. Well, not really 4 walls, for the metaphorical version, 4 walls. There's a lot of growth we can do, and I've considered, expansion and stuff like that. We're not there yet, but keyword yet.
So it's a work in progress. But I mean, it's interesting in the fact that, again, the business that you have is almost like the show How It's Made, right?
Oh yeah.
People love to watch that stuff and see what happens there, and I kind of figure out things that you might see that we might not ever see every day, but it's part of things that we pass by every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you have no idea how it's made until you actually watch it and see it, and it's happening right here, which is fantastic.
We serve all variety of industries, aerospace, medical, commercial, a lot of pump and valve, automotive type stuff. We make the parts that you don't think of. So if you have a dog or a cat and they eat kibble, we are making the blades that cut up the kibble. Extrusion bars. If you go to Thunder Ridge here and you sit on a ski lift chair, I'm making the part that is holding you to the ski lift. All these types of things.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Is this an industry that's dominated by a lot of big companies, or is it all a smaller, they're kind of manufacturing sort of business?
I would say a little bit of both. We have some competitors across the U.S. that are significantly larger, but a lot of them are about my size. Yeah. The industry is primarily dominated by overseas competition.
Yeah.
We probably compete with about 100 foundries across the U.S.
And so speaking of overseas competition, I mean, I would imagine some of the overseas manufacturing is probably at a larger scale as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so you try to compete in different segments of what's being built that they aren't, or is it you got to compete in the same arena?
You got to compete in the same arena. Primarily, they're all the same market, I'd say, but 2 different, models. People that are really chasing the lowest dollar overseas.
Sure.
There's definitely people in the U.S. here that do that. But there's also people that products made in America.
Yeah.
But we're all kind of in the same arena.
Yeah. Certain person in particular who likes things made in America.
There is.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that our organization, the Putnam County Business Council, and all of the municipalities really should be on your side. I mean, tell us what you need. I mean, is it people? Is it?
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm growing. We're growing and going to need people. The business is growing, but primarily, there's enough. I've always said to a lot of people that there's enough work in the U.S. for the foundries that are here. Sure. Surely there's a lot more to be had. The infrastructure is available. So, but the demand is crazy. Yeah, we were making parts for emissions control for diesel engines. We were making a part that competitors in the U.S. couldn't make. we were making 8,000 a week for 15 years.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that's something that kind of hits home to me, being in the automotive business. You know, we have certain vehicles right now that in 2026 we're not going to be able to sell in New York State because they don't pass New York State emissions. So he's building parts that are part of that whole system. Certainly, there's obviously rules and laws and regulations to all that kind of stuff, but you know, thankfully we do have somebody here in the States that is building it for an American company, which is fantastic as well. Talk to me about, you know, we kind of chatted a little bit prior to the podcast, but talk to me about some of the roadblocks that you do have being in Putnam County, because that's really what the voice is intended to be. It's for business owners like yourself to discuss any issues that you might have that we can help with, and to get the word out there that you know, you have a struggle, but there's a way to fix it. So you could kind of talk to me about some water issues, some property issues. You don't have to go into great detail about it, but it's important for you to be able to speak your mind and speak, you know, what's preventing you from growing your business.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You know, without going too deep into the woods of things, there's some hurdles that the business is seeing. We have some water drainage issues on our property that are very, very significant. That put a kind of a kibosh on some of my longer term plans. You know, repaint my driveway, make things safer, but you know, I gotta get water out of there first. You know, this, that, and the other thing. You know, get in the way of doing potential expansion projects. You know, and then labor is a real thing too, right? You know, like you said, we're not exactly small within Putnam County, but you know, we're competing with some of the larger businesses in the area. We see a boom. It can be difficult at times to find labor. But I'd say with all things considered, you know, we're doing okay. I think the biggest thing we need is support, just, you know, in who we are and what we're doing, and, you know, the type of business that we're bringing here to Putnam County. It's something to be really proud of. I mean, I'm absolutely appalled to, you know, we're just doing what we're doing right here in Putnam County in New York.
Yeah. People really just do need to know. It's almost as simple as that.
Yeah,
you've shown yourself to be a good collaborator. You got together with Nick. You're telling me that you're getting together with the local government authorities at all levels, county and state. And if you have if you've got those kind of connections, they are going to work. But we can help you. We can help make sure that those things continue to happen.
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, people, like you said, people got to know who we are, where we are, why we're here, why we're doing what we're doing. You know, of course, you could be in business in other places, but we love it here. So we want to stay here.
So let's say I'm 18 or 20. Why do I want a career in manufacturing as opposed to the glories of Wall Street or car dealership or something like that?
So manufacturing back in the day used to be looked at as this dark, gloomy, grim type of environment. You walked into this building, not a lot of windows. It was dirty and messy.
Yeah. And you came out all grimy.
You can't, manufacturing is not like that. You know, for a lot of reasons, but technology has come a long way, and especially depending on the type of business you're working for. But the advancements in technology have taken us to a place where we're not in that stage of life anymore. You know, you walk through our shop, we're a foundry. We pour molten metal. We pour 300 pounds of metal every 25 minutes. We're grinding castings all day long. We're generating, you know, dust and stuff. Like, we meet all the environmental regulations. You know, we test our air quality, all that stuff. We have, you know, skylighting, bright windows all throughout our plant. It's not dark and dense.
Yeah.
Right. That's number one. Number two, it's not all, you know, what people think of as, you know, grimy, not fun work. There's a lot of challenges that we have that are real problems that need to be solved by real people doing real work that they really like. You know, to, you know, go back to your question, you're an 18-year-old. Why would you want to work in manufacturing? Because it's awesome to make stuff.
Yeah.
It's awesome to make stuff.
Not for me, and it's too late for me, but I can see how
it's awesome. It's awesome to make stuff, and it's awesome to be a part of something. You know, I was telling you a little bit before this podcast, I've got a customer that makes breaching equipment, you know, for breaching down doors. They're life-saving pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
And they're counting the number of lives that they save So you have two options to look at manufacturing. You can look at it as the old dark dungeon thing and be wrong, or you can look at it, wow, I'm really creating something that is helping the world.
Yeah.
Good attitude.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you got people in the plant that they take a lot of pride in what they do, and it's not just this hunk of metal that you're working on. It's this hunk of metal that goes into this component that's going to save a life one day, and that improves the business.
Will you train me? Or do I will I have to come with some kind of engineering background?
Well, if you come with an engineering background, you want to do engineering work for us, that's great. But no, you don't need experience. A lot of the manufacturing stuff that we do, it's all hands-on the job training that we do. We have the staff in-house that's capable of training anyone who doesn't have experience. But got a couple of requirements, to work for me. The biggest one is just have the right attitude. But come to work, ready to work.
Yeah.
And you want to make the company better.
How long is a shift?
So our primary shifts are from 7 to 3:30. It's our first shift, 2:30 to 11 and 10:30 to 7 a.m. So most of my staff is on 7 to 3:30, the primary first shift. Yeah, smaller second shift crew.
Did you grow up in the business, being a family business? Did you start as a young kid in there and kind of work your way through
it? Yes. I mean, I remember being a small child taking my scooter around. Dad was always at the shop doing something. I was riding my scooter, listening to my Walkman. And I grew up around the building block. It wasn't until college when I really said, I've got this opportunity in front of me that's a family business that I can get into. And that's really when the wheels started turning. But yeah, I grew up in it. I always found it fascinating. Yeah. Once, I got a degree in engineering, it really flipped a light switch for me. So, wow, this is a giant opportunity right in front of my face. Let's go get it. So, I've worked my way through the company after high school. Or while I was in high school, after school, I'd go and work after school for a couple hours, go home, do my homework, repeat.
Yeah.
I worked throughout summers, college breaks and whatnot. I ran every piece of equipment we had, with the exception of maybe one or two. Done everything in the plant since I was 16, 17, 18, be doing. When I got into college, on the breaks, I would be doing more engineering related stuff. Just kept growing and growing, and joined the company full time as a product engineer, process engineer, making everything better, whether it's actual products or the process. When my father passed in early 2022, I headed up manufacturing. Just last year, and bought the company and president of it.
How was the transition for you becoming owner and kind of being the man in charge of the whole project rather than a piece of it?
It was a little bumpy, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And Dad and I didn't get a whole lot of time together in our professional careers. He got sick right in 2020 when everyone else was getting sick for COVID. But the transition was an interesting one because it was, I knew what I was doing, but didn't really know a whole lot about running the business. I had to come in and kind of put my business hat on for a while and redo some things. It was intimidating. Here I was 25 years old when I took over the business, and I had people that remember when I was born working for me. But you know what? At the end of the day, I realized age is but a number, and it's what you do with it. And as long as you're fostering a culture of growth and respect, that really pans out in the end. And we have one of the best crews now that we've ever had historically in the company. We're doing great things, and it's not about age. It's not about, seniority. It's just about who wants to contribute to part of the mission to make the business better.
You're a wonderful guest, and you come on top of, we've had some lovely family business representatives come here. We have a family been in the lumber business for, how long had the Dane family been in the lumber business?
130-something years.
Yeah. And we had another family in the jewelry business for, then there's that certain car dealership guys we know. But it's great. I mean, and people, our audience should know that there are these next generation family businesses here, so that we can support you. And if it's in fact people and more interest in younger people in coming to work for you and building a career in manufacturing, I mean, that's a word that we can help you get out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Put it to the from the top of the mountaintop. We want people that are driven and want to join us on the journey that we're on.
Well, I think that the biggest thing, especially attracting some of the younger labor, is the culture that you have in your business, which sounds like you have it spot on. It sounds like what you're creating there is a mission that everybody can get involved in, which certainly would attract some people to come work for you and be alongside you in that mission.
Yeah, I've got a saying, and it's a little, I don't want to say harsh, but it's truth. Like, if you don't like your job, I will help you find one that you do like. I want you to enjoy your job, at our company, and I want you to want to be there.
Right.
That's how I think most people should view their jobs. And maybe I'm just a weird one. I just found out what the Sunday scaries are a couple of months ago. I wake up on Monday morning, pumped, and Friday afternoon comes around, and well, we'll wait till Sunday to keep going. I really enjoy it. I don't think there's many people out there in the world that enjoy what they do as much as I do.
You mentioned technology and the application of it to your business. Curious about 3D printing and whether that's something that is useful to you or is going to be a major competitive threat. Tell me how you frame 3D printing.
3D printing is, in my opinion, a tool. I don't see it coming to, dominate the industry. We can do things cheaper and faster than 3D printing can, or at least in my lifetime. It's a tool in the sense that, when I was explaining the basic process, you start off with a mold and you inject wax. Those molds can range anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000. If somebody wants to make 10 parts that requires a $25,000 mold, they're not going to be too happy about.
Sure.
So the way that 3D printing comes into the industry is now you can 3D print parts to use as patterns, where you're not having to tool up, and you can design and prototype a lot faster than you could previously.
I see. So that's the tool part.
That's the tool. We just bought a new SLA 3D printer. Yeah.
I see. So that helps you. It's integrated into your business.
Yeah. So if you come to me and say, Garrett, I'm making a pair of pliers and I've got this really cool idea, but I still need to iron it out, you're not going to want to invest a whole bunch of money in something, ready to go to market with. You want to prototype it. So you come to me and say, I can make you a part using the investment casting method without making a tool I can 3D print a part. And I give it to you, and you realize you might want to tweak something, and you say, hey, Garrett, thanks for the part. I need to change this, one thing.
See, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it really does become like,
oh yeah.
I mean, that's more friend than foe. That's
yeah, it absolutely is. And there's, metal 3D printing, which is, kind of in the same space. And what you're talking about is whether it's going to help or hurt. And I think it lands the same thing. Metal 3D printing definitely has an application in the industry. But like I said, in my lifetime, I see it competing with the amount of, cost effectiveness and volume of work that needs to get done.
Thank you. Good answer.
Yeah. So it's just not there for mass producing items.
Correct.
At a speed that's going to be necessary.
Yeah. Okay.
How many women do you have are they attracted to come work for you? Is it?
That there is the founder of the founding chairwoman of the Putnam County Business Council. That's every once in a while we hear from our friend Jen, and that was her with a good question.
So I'm trying to do some counting in my head. We're primarily male dominated. We do have, I want to say, somewhere between 7 and 10 female.
So 10%.
Yeah, and it is an attractive space for anyone. Gender doesn't matter. I actually had probably about an hour ago, before I showed up this podcast, we hired an individual. She came up to me today and she says, thank you so much for the opportunity. And, you know, that's great. You
Yeah.
know,
Love
so, you know, just made me think about it because you were asking about women. She's one of them. So, very in tune to what we do as well. And it's really enjoying it.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I push to get anyone that wants to, you know, work with us to do it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, honestly, just from the labor side of things, I have experience with a young girl that works for us now. She just graduated from BOCES and she's working as a technician in my shop. And she is probably the fastest technician in her age group and her experience level that we have. And I would love to have 2 of her, 3 of her. She's incredible. So certainly, I don't think gender should ever.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
At my granddaughter's preschool graduation, they got up to the mic and everybody said what they wanted to do. And this one little girl gets up and says, "I want to be a mechanic." And everyone gave like the hugest applause
Yeah, it's awesome.
you can imagine.
I love
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Question: Can somebody, specifically me, I'm asking for myself, can I come to your shop and just take a peek around one day?
Yeah, you got myself a number. You just call and we'll go walk around.
I would love to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I host all sorts of people. I mean, if someone walked in my door and said, "Hey, can I see what you do?" I'd probably say yes, as long as I had the time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I give tours all the time to friends, family, you know, really anyone. We are a partner with the Brewster P-Tech program. I gave somewhere about 120 middle school, you know, going into high school students a tour last
I
summer,
love that.
and that was great. I've had
Yeah.
colleges and a little bit of everything. Yeah, I welcome tours. I'm not worried about somebody coming in coaching my technology.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good idea. A great way for you to get your name out and let people see what you do.
Yeah, here's an open invite. Anyone listening, give me a call.
Yeah, we have really enjoyed having you on here because you have a business that people just deserve to know about.
Oh,
that there aren't a lot of, and our good fortune in having providing you with a platform to meet up with Nick and me and Jen and come on and tell the world. We look forward to having you back.
Yeah, I think certainly, Garrett, you're going to be a face and a name that is very involved in the Putnam County Business Council. We do have a great event upcoming, Trailblazers Award, which is going to be a 40 under 40 event. You certainly fit the age group for it, so I think that
Hopefully you'll be getting a nomination.
I can see yourself winning a nominee.
One of us will nominate. We disqualified. No, we can nominate.
You get nominated, but hopefully you're fun. You better be
Oh,
fun.
I'm if you look up fun in the dictionary, you find a picture of me.
I'm the queen of big fun now, so you got a big challenge.
But Garrett, you're a pleasure. It's been great to meet you on the Putnam Connects calls and to have you here. It was fantastic. You're very interesting. Your business is very interesting. It's exciting to see a business like yours in Putnam County because, again, we don't have it. We do, and we know.
Yeah, I was going to say, we sure do.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Nobody knew we had it.
Yeah.
But certainly, we're here to help get the word out. I know you're progressively trying to do it day after day.
Yeah.
We hope to see you grow, and we hope to help you grow in any way that we can. And I know that there's certainly some support out there for you and your business going forward. And even some people that we've met in Putnam Connects has helped you. And I think that they all have your back. So bright future for you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, guys. Thanks a lot.
Garrett, good having you. See you soon.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Yeah.
Good job.
That was awesome.
Good.